The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, Lord.
Before the feast of Passover, Jesus knew that his hour had come to pass from this world to the Father. He loved his own in the world, and he loved them to the end. The devil had already induced Judas, son of Simon the Iscariot, to hand him over. So during supper, fully aware that the Father had put everything into his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God, he rose from supper and took off his outer garments. He took a towel and tied it around his waist. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and dry them with the towel around his waist. He came to Simon Peter and said to him, "Master, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus answered and said to him, "What I am doing you do not understand now, but you will understand later." Peter said to him, "You will never wash my feet." Jesus answered him, "Unless I wash you, you will have no inheritance with me." Simon Peter said to him, "Master, then not only my feet, but my hands and my head as well." Jesus said to him, "Whoever has bathed has no need except to have his feet washed, for he is clean all over. So you are clean, but not all." For he knew who would betray him. For this reason he said, "Not all of you are clean." So when he had washed their feet and put his garments back on and reclined at table again, he said to them, "Do you realize what I have done for you? You call me teacher and master, and rightly so, for indeed I am. If I, therefore, the master and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash one another's feet. I have given you a model to follow, so that as I have done for you, you should also do." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I'm using a common theme in my Holy Week homilies this year, and that theme is practical jokes. I don't want it to sound sacrilegious. I got the idea for this while I was sitting there during our Holy Hour back in early Lent, so that's where it began. I'm not saying that the events of Holy Week were jokes, but I think the people involved of them may have felt like the joke's on them. And so I'm beginning each homily with a practical joke that I'm aware of. I didn't do all these jokes. I was around, and that's as much as I'll admit at this point. This one happened when I was a deacon a few months before I was ordained a priest. A pastor I worked with liked to kid and joke with people, and someone got him on his birthday. A woman who came to weekday mass had a floral shop. So she took a big block of styrofoam to the local bakery to have them decorate it. Now, the people at the bakery knew the pastor too, and they were all too happy to be a part of this. And they did an amazing job. It was frosted. It had depictions of all these things, the hobbies he liked. It looked beautiful. And it was his favorite kind of cake, so she said. So after morning mass on his birthday, she presented him the cake. Everybody from mass went into the meeting room, and he couldn't wait to cut it and have a piece of cake. We sang him happy birthday, and he got the knife, and he goes over and nothing. Got through the frosting, and that was it, nothing. After several attempts, he realized he'd been had. The joke was on him, and he wasn't getting any cake. The disciples had followed Jesus for 3 years. They stayed with him. They believed in him. They watched and witnessed his great miracles. They got all the way to Jerusalem. They shared the Passover with him. They heard him say, "This is my body. This is my blood." And they're thinking, hey, we're in. We're really in. And then he washed their feet. They must have felt, is this some kind of joke? We follow you for 3 years and we get to wash feet? We want the power. We want glory. We want to heal the sick. We want to raise the dead. We want to walk on water. We want to feed crowds and turn water into wine. After all we've been through, we're supposed to wash feet? We gave up everything to follow you. And we get to wash feet. This must be a joke. Jesus gave them a model to follow. We call it a mandate. He is the teacher and the master. And he washed their feet. He took the position of the servant. They should do the same, and so should we. They wanted power and glory, and maybe we do too. And he gave them power and glory, greater than they could imagine. Power is in humble service. Glory is in taking the lowest place. Miracles, great signs, they fade away. And many of the signs of Jesus were questioned. Was that man really born blind? Was Lazarus really dead in that tomb? Humble service changes hearts. And changed hearts change the world. It's not a joke. It's a whole new way of life. It's what we receive in the Eucharist. This is the life we are called to live. This is true power and true glory.